There are much more levels marked off on my chart this week than normal. This is a byproduct of being in net negative gamma territory. For those of you guys that are new, this will become easier, especially when the market is in a net positive gamma environment. My charts generally don't have this many levels on them. I'm going to do my best to simplify things as much as possible for you guys. 660 is the major support level for this week. However, unlike during a net positive gamma environment, we can expect 660 to break. It is not a high conviction support level, if that makes sense. I do not think the markets will break down below 660, but it can, just based off the gamma exposure profile and the way I analyze it. Now, if the market does break down below 660 this week, if you are a bear, you want to see the VIX break above Friday's high. If the market gets below 660, so let's just say it drops down to 655 and the VIX is not above Friday's high, this divergence is an almost automatic reason to take a long trade back up. How you structure that long trade is up to you. If you are buying down at 655 and you are buying maybe an out the money 660 call, that's not a bad approach. Maybe you're going to use some sort of out the money broken wing long call butterfly. You guys know I like those. You can go with next week expirations to give the trade some time. But for the most part, if you're buying down here and your stop loss is a little bit below here and you're targeting here, the markets might actually bounce all the way back up to 655, similar to what happened a couple weeks ago or last week, if I remember correctly. As I mentioned, it was this strike right here, 675. I said if the markets did break down below that level, these support levels down here, we would expect a reversal trade back up to 675. But as we can see, the market went all the way up to at least 685, and this call ended up being 10 points in the money. A similar situation can happen. So let's just say the markets did sell off down to here and you are targeting 660. It is very likely that it can actually bounce all the way back up to 670. So you want to keep that in mind whenever you gauge your profit targets, as you don't want to leave so much leftover profits on the table. Now, this area here is sort of a mess, and this area here is sort of a mess. This region here should act as some sort of resistance for the markets. However, if it can get above 671 and specifically 672 and hold these three strikes right here, that will give bulls some confidence to actually aim for 678. 678 is where I would expect the markets to go if you have a deep out the money bullish target. I would not aim higher than 680 for this week, as 680 to 660 is a sensible range for the iron condors this week. That is about as narrow as I would go. You can go wider, of course, but then you're going to be compromising how much premium you receive. It is well within means, I think, to expect the markets to be stuck around 670 this week. If the market does make it up to this net negative GEX island, it would not be surprising if it actually retraced back down to this area. If the market does sell off and comes down to 665 or even 660, as we know to be an expected support, then it would not be out of the norm to expect it to bounce back up to this 670 area. This is actually a major strike for this week, which means an iron condor for this week, whether you're trading 0 DTEs or the 4 DTE iron condor using Friday's expiration, iron butterflies, iron butterflies, iron butterflies. Once the market is around 670, expect there to be some sort of decent theta decay. That leaves iron flies, iron condors, excellent approach to trading this week within this region here. If the market goes far away from 670, then use that as an expectation for it to oscillate back towards it. This is the type of price action we can expect for this week. If it goes up, likely to come back to here. If it goes down, likely to come back to here. As it is in this area, the expectation would be that it will be choppy in this area. This is without catalysts. The market is still very susceptible and very sensitive to the macroeconomic news, especially anything coming out of Trump's mouth this week. So you're going to want to monitor the headlines. There's some net positive gamma happening up here, but I wouldn't really, hold my breath for the markets to go up that high this week. It can. That is one of the byproducts of a net negative gamma environment. With the VIX still being well above its norm, it's still far away from, we'll say 20. Sub 20 is generally going to be a different market regime. As we are above 20, the VIX can drop all the way down to 20 within a week. If the VIX does drop down to 20 this week, then yeah, that's going to be extra fuel, extra reason for the markets to break above these resistance levels. You guys know I'm not a big proponent on actually shorting the S&P 500. As something I'll tell beginner traders is to think of it as if there is never any resistance. The markets can go up indefinitely. It can go up forever and ever and ever. However, it will never go down and stay down. There will always be some sort of a dead cat bounce. There will always be some sorts of volatility drop. And whenever that happens, the markets bounces. Whether it holds that bounce is anyone's guess, but for the most part, the markets won't always stay down. It might trend down, but it won't stay down, but it can trend up indefinitely. So we always keep that in mind. And the biggest up days happen during net negative gamma environments. The markets has broken out of this trend. And if you guys remember on the video that recapped last week's price action, I told you guys to already start thinking about even trades up to 700 as we saw a bullish divergence between the VIX and the SPY. The markets went lower on Friday. But if we take a look at the VIX relative to where it started the week, relative to where it closed the week, the VIX went down, the markets went down. If this was to be a bearish sign of the markets forming a new low, bears would have wanted to see the VIX close like this, somewhere up here, but it did not do that. And that's what I flagged as a reason to start thinking about being long and even using a ridiculous target such as 700. On the daily time frame, the market has not yet come down to the 200 daily moving average. This type of price action is what I like to call annoying. It's like, why don't you just go touch it already? Because if we touch the 200 daily moving average, it means we don't have to keep thinking eventually it's going to touch it. Whether the market wants to trend like this and then touch it a couple weeks from now or a week from now, we don't know, but it would be nice if the market just touched the 200 daily moving average during the regular trading hours session. It does not have to go down to touch the 200 daily moving average, as the 200 daily moving average might continue to move up and price can just consolidate for a bit and then it could touch it that way. So we don't want to blindly assume that the market is going to go down to touch it. We know it is inevitable that it will eventually touch it. The last time that occurred was last year. This is almost an entire year ago, as it was about 300 days ago or so. It's not very common that the market interacts with the 200 daily moving average, but we do know that when it interacts with it, it tends to be a great place for investors to start building a long-term portfolio again. And we can see here it doesn't always work out right away, as the markets did sell off aggressively below its last year. So just because it touches the 200 daily moving average does not mean that it has to bounce. There will be some sort of confluence in this area, as there will be expected supports down here, but we're not sure yet. We will just continue to monitor that. For this week's volume profile analysis on the ES, I just made a slight update. I've left this supply zone here as it is still likely to act as supply. We have this point of control, which actually is no longer a virgin point of control. So let me just update right here. I'm leaving in a W. That just lets me know that this point of control is coming from the weekly profile. I've updated the value area high and the value area low. This is coming straight from last week's volume profile. And then we have last week's point of control. You guys can already see this area acted as a level 2 bounce off of. That means this break and retest point of control up to the value area high. Markets should struggle up here. This coincides with the levels that we have on the gamma exposure chart. I'm continuing to show you guys how these things all work in tandem. The ES, the volume profile, and the SPY. At this point, you guys know I trade the SPX options, but I really have the SPX chart up. It is mostly the SPY is my main tool for analysis, or my main ticker for analyzing any derivative of the S&P 500. And then I use the ES for a continuous price action charts, which means the extended hours are on here, and I keep the volume profile for the ES. Those are the major things I want to point out this week. 680 to 660. I just realized here I put 680 to 600. This should be 660, and the 670 level is a good strike to base non-directional trades on. As I mentioned in previous videos, I am severely sleep deprived right now. Filming was a major success. I have not gotten a chance to actually go to sleep. I think we wrapped around 5 a.m. Eastern time, got home, must have been around 6 a.m. or so, and then I started some of my analysis for the markets. Wasn't trading, but I had some recapping stuff and finished up journaling from last week, and then the market opened, and I've essentially been up since, so I'm severely sleep deprived, so I apologize for the low energy as well as not being able to get to actually put together some trade ideas. But at this point, I think you guys know the flow in which I like to approach the Ironfly account builder, 11 DTE, or maybe even a 15 DTE if you want to be a little bit safer, but the 11 DTE has been a good sweet spot. I haven't really analyzed the calendar spreads for this week. I'm not sure if there is any type of volatility skew, but I think the iron flies would be the way to go, as well as the iron condor. I personally still have a leftover merge cow fly from last week. This was opened last week also. I don't think I showcased that on the video on Monday. I showed you guys the iron condors and some of the other positions, but I also opened up a merge cow fly for this week, and then based on the gamma exposure profile, it told me to just continue to hold a lot into this week here. And this is it here, just one lot left over. P&L is doing pretty well right now. A trade like this week, I'm going to push a little bit further than I normally would, as I do like the range that it does offer me. When I did my analysis last week, it was also accounting for swinging it into this week. And now that I've done the analysis for this week, I do still like this profile. This is if the market was to bounce up about a 1% from here. 1% from here does put it well within this range, and this is where I would expect the market to struggle. So I do plan on holding this well past where I normally would. So even if I hold this into Thursday, I do like what this is offering, as this would be a really nice win. Again, at this point, it's just one lot left. I think this is excellent. And then let's see what else I have on here. I think this was another swing here. So this is, my portfolio is relatively light, as I kept it light over the weekend, as I knew I was going to be still filming for a few days, but I was not sure what mental capacity I would have to be able to handle a complicated risk profile. But this one had a little bit more of a short delta. Let me just reset that, just in case, to expand my profile to offer a little bit more to the downside. But as we see, if we turn on both of this, overall my delta for my portfolio is relatively balanced. So you guys see that here, pretty neutral, even though these positions were opened up all the way from last week here, and then the other one, I forgot when I must have opened. It must have been on Friday, I think, around here. So I'm still keeping my delta exposure pretty low. We love a low delta exposure. We love high theta, and we like to monitor our vega, as we do not want a profile that's too susceptible to imply volatility swings. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you learned something. Like it, share it, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're new here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.